Good morning. My name's John McCarthy and I'm the Associate Chief Operating Officer here at the University. And I would like to warmly welcome you all to the University of Salford graduation ceremony. Today, my role is as Master of Ceremonies, which is to make sure things run smoothly. First up, I have a message from our alumni team. From the video that you've just watched, you will see that your relationship with the university does not end today. In fact, it is only just the beginning. You are now a member of a global community of over 190,000 graduates. Salford graduates go on to achieve amazing things, making a difference in all walks of life, from politics, industry, the arts, scientific endeavour, to serving our communities through the health service, in schools, and in other public service. We would love you to keep in touch with us so that we can share in your life's journey and achievements, but also to ensure you are kept up to date on the latest benefits and services available to you as a member of our alumni community. As you cross the stage today, we'll be recording you, and you'll receive an email from us in the next few days inviting you to download the clip of yourself. It is just a little gift to say thank you for agreeing to let us stay in touch with you. Before the ceremony starts, I have a few requests. Firstly, can I ask that you wear a face covering, unless medically exempt, for the duration of the ceremony and until you are outside of the hall. Graduands, you will be prompted to remove your face covering before you come onto the stage. This year, instead of shaking hands of the presiding officer, they will doff, which means a nod of the head. And as you cross the stage, you are invited to respond by a nod of your head also. You will not need your cap, so you can leave those on your seat. So we'll demonstrate what that means very quickly. So the presiding officer will be standing here, and you will be presented from that side of the stage. As you come along the stage, when you get to about here, the presiding officer will nod, and if you can nod back. You don't need to curtsy. You had that this week. You don't need to bow. Just a nice simple nod, and just walk nice and slowly across the stage. I have to say we've had some people come across the stage this week who would have put Mo Farah to shame. So take your time, enjoy the moment, turn to family and friends, and get that photograph. Can we also ask that all guests remain seated throughout the ceremony as a courtesy to other guests, so that you do not disturb them in terms of their view of the stage and also being able to take photographs. Finally, if you can keep your mobile phones onto silent, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. The ceremony will now begin. For those who are able, please stand.
I declare this congregation open to present the awards of the University of Salford. Please be seated. Thank you.
Graduands and distinguished guests, please welcome Dr. Vicky Halliwell, Deputy Dean of the School of Health and Society.
Welcome to the School of Health and Society Graduation Ceremony 2021. I'm delighted that we can at last celebrate the successes which you have achieved in your studies with your families, friends and staff. The past 20 months have been incredibly challenging for many. Being a student during this time and graduating is a great achievement, showing resilience, determination and talent. I therefore want you to enjoy every moment. Cheer loudly, clap enthusiastically, whoop if you wish. You deserve to celebrate. Whilst it's been a challenging time, we've also seen some exciting and innovative work by the school's staff and students. A key priority of the university is to work with industry, developing students for the world of work, collaborating and developing research that makes a difference to people's lives and our society. There have been brilliant successes within the school and across the university. One of these is that the University of Salford is the first university in the world to be certified child safe, and considerable work has been put into producing resources which give Salford students the necessary tools to protect children living in their communities and to recognise when children might be at risk of significant harm. This incredible work was led by Professor Andrew Rowland and Professor Tony Long. I'm thrilled the university has recently re-signed the Armed Forces Covenant and pledged its commitment to those who serve or have served. This covenant states that they and their families be treated with fairness and respect in their communities and receive support which recognises their contribution by helping them in areas such as starting a new career, access to healthcare and education. As response to the Black Lives Matter movement, our Equality, Diversity and Inclusion lead for our school, Dr. Soraya Nayak, established our first Black, Asian and racially minoritized student collective. This is a safe space for students to meet and constructively respond to intersectional race issues. There are now over 200 student members, and this makes this group one of the largest in any UK university. We have an exciting partnership with Greater Manchester Police and the University of Central Lancashire, which will deliver innovative and high-quality police education. This partnership will ensure Greater Manchester Police's student officers develop the leadership, skills and knowledge they need to deliver outstanding policing services to our communities across Greater Manchester. At the start of the pandemic, we saw our nursing and allied health academics develop a training course for the Greater Manchester Nightingale Hospital. The team provided training to NHS clinical staff to prepare them to care for patients who had contracted coronavirus. Our midwifery programme was awarded the UNICEF Baby Friendly Gold Award in achieving sustainability in baby-friendly standards. The university was the second in the UK and the first in the Northwest to achieve this prestigious award, which ensures our students are effectively prepared and educated to the highest standards in infant feeding. Both staff and students have been nominated for awards throughout the year, too many to list here. But adult nursing student Annabelle Clark was nominated for Student of the Year at the Greater Manchester Health and Care Champion Awards, and Eleanor Mears was also awarded Apprentice of the Year by the university and shortlisted for the Nursing Associate Trainee of the Year at the prestigious Student Nursing Times Awards. Our school conducts research that has value to society. This research involves undergraduate, masters, PhD students and staff working in collaboration with external partners. One of the most important attributes of our research is its impact, that it makes a positive change to the world we live in. One example of this is that we've received £400,000 funding from the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council for a groundbreaking digital health project led by Dr. Steve Priest. This revolutionary project uses individualised avatars which replicate the actions of the muscles in real time as a patient breathes. This will lead to innovations in treatment of dysfunctional breathing. The work we do in our school reflects the diversity of our communities and our students and engages meaningfully at international level. We're working closely with the charity Knowledge for Change to improve the lives of men, women and children in sub-Saharan Africa. Sadly, cervical cancer is the main cause of cancer deaths in Uganda. Our teams have combined digital innovation with nurse leadership to introduce, see and treat cervical screening into community health centres. Furthermore, we've reduced deaths in one hospital from 14 a year to 1 through simple improvements in wound management. This work now engages our students directly through virtual wound management clinics, giving students a real insight into global health issues. Looking to the future, our desire to generate positive impact in the world remains. We are investing in our strengths in research across areas such as rehabilitation, public health, long-term conditions, welfare, and criminal justice. And we continue to grow and support the future health and social care workforce in collaboration with our partners across the region. Whilst it has been an exciting year for our school, there have also been significant achievements for our university, and as such, I am proud to introduce our presiding officer for this ceremony, Vice-Chancellor, Professor Helen Marshall.
Thank you very much, Vicky. Distinguished guests, graduates, as Vice-Chancellor of the University of Salford, I'm delighted to welcome you here today. It's been a long time coming, and finally we've managed to get back to proper, real-life, face-to-face graduations. And we're here to congratulate you as you culminate years of hard work. It's not just the hard work you've done at the university, but you will have done hard work at school and college before you got to university. So this is a pivotal moment in your life. And it marks a kind of crossroads in terms of your learning experience, school, college, university, and now you're moving, probably, most of you, into the world of work. Or you may, if you graduated last year, officially, already be in the world of work and know what it's like. But it's a different kind of world. And everybody in this room has, in one way or another, been affected by COVID. So your achievements in terms of graduating during what has been an incredibly bumpy best part of 20 months are significant. And there'll be a lot of it that you look back on and think, well, that wasn't very good, that wasn't very nice, I didn't like that wasn't what I expected. But take the positives out of it. Your resilience, your learning, the fact that you had to adapt so much. Those are all things, they're tools that will be useful to you going forward, because when you get in the world of work, and those of you who are already in the world of work will by now realise that adaptability in the world of work is an important, significant personal attribute. So I hope everyone today is pleased to be here. And can I also extend a very warm welcome to your friends and families, whether you've just come down the road or you've travelled a long distance. We're absolutely delighted to see you here at Salford today to celebrate with our graduates their significant achievement over the last period. And I hope everyone takes away a special memory of today. Alongside your specific studies, I hope you've also made new friends, had new experiences. If you've lived away from home, one of the things I remember is you had to learn to cook, which was quite entertaining for me. So whether you're moving on to further studies or whether you're in work, doesn't matter. This is an extremely important day to celebrate all that you've achieved in your study here at Salford. You've shown passion, drive, and determination to culminate your study period with a degree and an award and a certification, which is fantastic. Now, even though I'm only 39 really, don't laugh, I started my career some time ago, and I can remember sitting where you're sitting now, waiting for the Vice-Chancellor to stop rambling on so I could get up on the stage and get my degree certificate. And my lasting memory was looking at the stage, looking at the steps up and the steps down, and my stiletto heels, which were about that big. And I thought, this is going to be tricky. So any of you who are in a similar position, just remember that. One of my other lasting memories as a student, I was a law student. My area of specialism is corporate law, mergers, takeovers, competition law. And while I was studying, we got together as a group of students with the Students' Union, and we did a piece of work around a sponsored hitchhike to raise money for cancer research. And there was a group of 3 of us who were doing this sponsored hitchhike, and we thought we were extremely good at it. And the 3 of us managed to get to the Netherlands, which I thought was pretty impressive. The only problem was, once we got there, we hadn't actually done any thinking or figured out how we were going to get back. So we arrived back 3 days later than we should have done, and we were in big, even though we earned a lot of sponsorship money, we were in big trouble with our lecturers because we'd missed a whole load of classes. But it was fantastic, and my lecturers less than impressed with me anyway. When I left university, I went into legal practice. My area of specialism, corporate law, got into legal practice, put in the probate department, then the family law department, and I said to the leading partner, I said, excuse me, I was appointed for corporate law department. Oh yeah, but you're a woman, you're better in family law. And I thought, well, forget that. So I ended up back at Birmingham University doing a big piece of research with a guy called Professor Robert Pennington, who was being sponsored by the EU and government to look at mergers and takeovers, because at the time we had no legislation in this country regulating mergers. So people would set up a front of house company in Luxembourg, look at a company over here, share valuation of the company 5 million, asset valuation 10 million, right, well I'll spend 5 million and buy the company and then flog the assets for 10 million and make a £5 million profit, thank you very much, nice. And there was a heck of a lot of that going on. So we did a huge piece of research to put legislation on the ground to actually regulate mergers, takeovers and competition law properly in this country. And during that time of research, I started teaching. And that's what got me into academia. It was almost by accident, really, not by design. But I have absolutely loved my career in academia. Did I ever think I would be Vice-Chancellor of a university like Salford? No, I didn't. But all I've done in my career, I've done the very best I can in every job I've had. And after a few years in a job, you think, okay, well, I've kind of got this now, and I need to move on to the next stage, up a step on the ladder. And it wasn't a straight journey. It was very much a kind of zigzag across. But the experience I've had working at a number of different universities stands you in good stead, because they're not all exactly the same. They are quite different in lots of respects. And bringing that knowledge and experience to Salford, I hope, has been helpful to moving Salford forward. But moving on, one of the things I've observed over my career is that there are 3 types of people in the world. People who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and people who wonder what just happened. And you guys have got to work out which one of those 3 you're going to be. And I hope it's the ones that make things happen, because you've demonstrated your skills and abilities to drive yourself through an extremely difficult period, a period that I've never known in terms of the bumpiness of study for students. You've got through that. Own that and see that as a really positive. So we're really proud of you and the fact that you've got to this day. Be proud of yourselves. And we're here to celebrate your successes, but there's also a lot of things that we've done through COVID, I mean, the senior team probably don't love me very much because I said, right, well, we've got to make sure that we get the learning and teaching as good as we can for our students. We manage safety on campus as well as we can. A few extra duties for you guys, but do not stop pushing forward with our strategic objectives just because of COVID. We don't want to come out of COVID in 2 years, 3 years, however long it takes, and look back and think, oh, look at all the things we missed, all the chances, all the opportunities that we didn't take for the university, our community, and our student population. If you walk around the campus, you'll see our new science and engineering building, £70 million build going up, which will be very 21st century science industry focused building. Energy House 2, which is next door to your buildings on the Frederick Road campus, that's nearly finished, which will be 4 steel safes, it's the best way I can describe it, and we build houses in each steel safe, and we can test out how zero carbon can be used, zero carbon emissions used in the building industry to make the whole industry zero carbon. So you put the house in the safe, you can make it 42 degrees, really hot, sticky and horrible, or you can make it -12, snow, wind, rain, the whole 9 yards, and you can test construction gear and equipment in a month. If you built that house in the normal environment, you'd probably have to wait years to experience all those different temperatures and all those different weather conditions. So we've got an industry knocking our door to want to use our steel safes. You'll see just down by the railway station roundabout, the Barrett home, the Z house, and that's Barrett building a zero carbon emission house. Going forward, that's where they want to go, zero carbon emissions. So we're working really hard with different areas of industry to build zero carbon. You'll see flowers growing out the wall of buildings on campus. And this is all about how do flowers eat carbon dioxide. We emit carbon dioxide. So if the flowers eat what we emit, what's not to like? So again, it's another project that we're doing in order to test, and that's called the Ignition Project. So we've done pretty well through COVID, and we've got a lot of strategic projects landed. One of the things that landed very recently, and if you were coming back to Salford tomorrow, you'd appreciate this, in the public sector comprehensive spending review in October, we landed £13 million from government to build what's called the Salford Rise, which is basically a flyover boardwalk that's going to come over from the campus over to Frederick Road. You walk off the boardwalk, turn left, you're on Frederick Road campus, you turn right, you're in the Science and Innovation District, and that joins the university up in a way, and it's a paved walkway. We're going to put some nice picnic tables and grass around the edges, have a nice coffee van up there, and it will join the campus up in a different way. So that's going to be a really exciting thing. More broadly, then people have won huge awards nationally. Salford graduate Hannah Russell, MBE, secured bronze and gold medals at the Tokyo Paralympics in 2020. Alumnus Craig Easton, photographer of the year, won the prestigious Sony World Photography Awards. Graduate Nicolette Peer was made an MBE in recognition of her work with the charity Mummy's Star, which supports pregnant women with cancer. And Maeve O'Sullivan, who completed our MA in children's TV production, was awarded a BAFTA for one of the films that she's made. These are just some of the examples of what our amazing Salford graduates have done. So it's an exciting and interesting time. But one of the things I'd like you to do, please, graduates, is to just stand for a moment, if you would, all of you. If you look behind me, staff on the stage here are people who have worked probably twice, 3 times as hard as they normally would have to get all of you through this challenging period. So I'd like you to join me in a round of applause for the staff on stage. Thank you. And the people sat behind you, mums, dads, friends, relatives, will have also supported you through this journey, both in terms of love and care and affection, and a few of those, if you're anything like my daughters. So please, a round of applause for them as well. Thank you. Now, very shortly, you'll be coming across the stage. and you will have officially graduated, and you will be joining our community of over 180,000 Salford graduates. Oh, sorry, you can sit down now, sorry. What's important to us is you keep in touch. We want to keep in touch with you, and if there are things we can do, and you will have seen from the film at the beginning, there are things we can do to support you going forward, and if there are things that we're doing that you're interested in and you want to get involved in it, then come back to us, get in touch with us. We'd be delighted for you to come and talk to existing students about, well, when I was here, this is the way it was. Now I'm in the workplace, this is what it's like. This is what you really need to work on. All of that, please come back. Please stay in touch. But just remember what you've achieved over the last 2 years. Remember your abilities. Remember your resilience. Don't forget it. The whole world is working to build a better future right now, and you're a vital part of that. Post-COVID, there's going to be so much change, I think, in terms of the way the world is going to work. So I shall finish by saying this to each and every graduate today. Be proud of what you've achieved. Be bold in your aspirations. The future is now yours to make and take. As well, as we like to say at Salford, go out there and become unstoppable. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you.
Graduates and distinguished guests, we will now commence the presentation of the Postgraduate Awards for the School of Health and Society, and each student will be presented individually for their award. I would like to invite Dr. Vicky Halliwell, Deputy Dean, to present the awards.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the School of Health and Society, I present for the award of Doctor of Philosophy with the title An Ethnographic Exploration of Women's, Midwives and Obstetricians' Beliefs about Maternal Movement During Labour, Beverly Katina Jarvis. For a professional doctorate with the title Complex Quests Towards Calm, a co-produced journey, Melvin John Bradley. Professional doctorate with the title The Limits of Choice, How Community Midwives Negotiate Choice in and of Their Practice, Helen Cameron. Professional doctorate with the title South Indian Asian Patients' Perspective of the Improving Access to Psychological Therapies, Cognitive Behavioural Therapy Interventions for Depression in Primary Care, a Qualitative and Grounded Theory, Grace Johnson. Master of Arts Nursing, Registered Nurse Adult, Juliet Bruce. Faye Rochelle Mills. Rachel May Ward. Master of Arts Nursing, Registered Nurse Mental Health, Laura Conreen. Master of Science, Advanced Clinical Practice, Andrea Berry. Snehal Bavsar. Natalie Blake. Claire Edwards. Laura Flanagan. Minnie Gilbert. Katie Jane Higgins. Rebecca Holt. Adhea Carney Joseph. Abby Kennedy. Michelle Marovich Loader. Jasmine Priya Maria. Kalula Nolte. Jacqueline Salt. Gul Mohammed Sanai Memon. Roxanne Spencer. Emma Thornton. Victoria Trainer. Sini Vanu. Kaylee Wright. For Master of Science, Geriatric Medicine, Nilum Abesekara. For Master of Science, Leadership and Management for Healthcare Practice, Kieron Manley. Master of Science, Leadership and Management for Healthcare Practice, Sally Crichton. Postgraduate Certificate, Leading Education in Practice, Andrea Powers. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the postgraduate awards.
We will now commence the presentation of the undergraduate awards for the School of Health and Society. Each student will be presented individually for their award. I would like to invite Brian Bogue, Associate Dean, International Development of the school, to present the awards.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the staff, students and alumni of the School of Health and Society, I present for the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours, Integrated Practice in Learning Disabilities Nursing and Social Work, Katie Ann Baver. Nicole Evans. Cindy Lee Fallows. Zoe Tracy Farrell. Alexandra Kett. Jessica Amber Lee. Darren Seeds. Georgia Thorpe. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Midwifery, Faye Elizabeth Davidson. Sophie Homan. Danielle Kirkham-Bond. Keela Parrington Cunningham. Sorsha Roberts. Sophia Jane Shepherd. Molly Elsie Yeomans. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Nursing Studies, Nikura Ethel Enyuzu. And that completes the awards.
Graduates and guests, that concludes the presentation of the awards. Before I invite the Vice-Chancellor to close the ceremony, please can I ask that all guests remain in their places until the graduates have left their seats. I would now like to invite the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Helen Marshall, to close the ceremony.
Well, that was fantastic. It was fantastic to see you all going across the stage and getting your degrees. Well done, everyone. So on behalf of the University of Salford, I would like to offer my sincere congratulations to each and every one of you today. Please can I ask everyone in the room to join me in a round of applause for our graduates this morning. Now, as new University of Salford graduates, I'm going to ask you all to stand, please. Will you stand? University of Salford graduates, now put on your hats because you're officially there. Thank you. I now declare this congregation to close. Please may I invite everyone in the room to stand.